समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The inevitable, which sometimes did not look quite as inevitable, has finally happened in Karnataka. Karnataka has a new chief minister, and of course, his name is DK Shivakumar. As we know, there is a very recent history to this, or very troublesome politics to it. In the Congress party, Siddaramaiah was a senior leader. He had been chief minister earlier. He was getting on in years, well past 75. And the understanding was that this will be a half and half split. That halfway through this term, although Congress had a full majority of its own, halfway through this term, Siddaramaiah will walk away and usher DK Shivakumar in the chair. That was the arrangement, but we know from our history that almost never happens. That almost never happens. In my recollection, it's happened only once in Meghalaya a long time back, but that was a church-mediated arrangement between two chief ministers. That's how it happened. Coming to Karnataka, DK Shivakumar is now chief minister. A 13-member cabinet has been sworn in. More will come in. What we are going to do today is, one, I will look very briefly at Karnataka's economy, the economic challenge or economic opportunity, because Karnataka is the engine. Okay, I should correct myself, not is the engine, is one of the most powerful engines of India's economy. In some ways, I could also say it's the engine of India's new economy. Although now Chennai is trying to catch up, Hyderabad is trying to catch up in a very big way. In fact, Hyderabad is giving Bangalore a close run. Pune is coming up. Maharashtra is coming up. But Bengaluru is still the tops, and I will give you some data that tells you why Bengaluru and Karnataka are the tops. And then we will talk about DK Shivakumar's challenges. And of course, when we talk about DK Shivakumar's challenges, to talk about the challenges of one DK, we'll have the other DK, who you know well, DK Singh, our political editor. He will join me. First of all, let me tell you the picture economically that we see in Karnataka. The data doesn't lie. And if you look at the data, then the truth comes out. And the truth to tell, things in Karnataka economically are not quite as grim as the general impression might be. And this in spite of the fact that the Congress party made its 6 guarantees the last time. That was at that point the zenith of populism. They threw a lot of money around, they spread a lot of money. Not all 6 have been kept, but still a lot of money is being spent. And general impression is that the state is completely bankrupted. That's not quite so, because the state also has revenues and state has growth. So let me share some data with you quickly before we come to politics. Usually we might put politics above economics. Today, let me put economics above politics, because many of DK Shivakumar's challenges and opportunities also come from economics. If you see the change over the past 2.5 to 3 years, that is when Congress has been in power in Karnataka with the majority. In fact, Karnataka has grown very robustly, to the extent that at this point it is the richest state in India by way of per capita income. That is 4,33,326. It's beaten Telangana, which has Hyderabad. So Revant Reddy's got stuff to do. That is 4,18,931. See the figures on your screen. 4.33326, 4,33,326 compared to Telangana's 4,18,931. This is after 7 years. For 7 years at least, Telangana had been ahead of Karnataka. Karnataka has now, it's like in a long marathon. Somebody is running at number 2. In the last part, takes the lead. So this lead Karnataka has taken because it has had very robust growth over the past 3-4 years. In fact, more than 5 years, going back to Yediyurappa and Bommai period as well. That is compliments to Karnataka. And when we do this ranking of states in terms of per capita income, we look at major states. That is states with 1 crore plus population. Then you see some of the other figures. If you see the average per capita income in India, today Telangana is 190.79% of India's per capita average. That's almost twice as much. Karnataka is in the same ballpark but ahead. Karnataka is 197.35. In fact, within a quarter, it will be considerably more than twice as much as India's average per capita GDP. That is the kind of engine Karnataka is to India's economy. Share of India's GDP. These are important data because these tell you how important Karnataka is for India and how critical Karnataka's success is for India. In 2018-19, Karnataka's economy, Karnataka's GSDP was 7.83% of all of India. Karnataka's population at this point is about 4.8% of all of India. In 1819, it was 7.83% of national GDP. Today, it's 9.2% of national GDP in 2025-26, which means Karnataka's share of Indian GDP is twice as much, almost twice as much as its share of the population, which also synchronizes perfectly as it should. It's simple arithmetic with the fact that Karnataka's per capita income is about almost exactly twice as much as India's. Then we look at growth rates. If you see growth rates, barring that setback, as you would expect, of 2021, has grown consistently faster than India. See the data on your screen, it's very clear. In fact, in 2025-26 also, India's growth has been robust, but not quite that robust. Karnataka has shown a growth of 8.1% in constant prices. If you want to compare Karnataka's growth with all of India compounded annual growth rate from 2018-19 is 5.3%, and arithmetically, if you calculate, the growth rate is 5.4%. In Karnataka's case, compounded annual growth rate is 6.2% in this period. That's almost 1% higher than the national average. And arithmetically, it is 6.7%. And in fact, one reason this looks so much better on an average than the national average is the fact that in the pandemic year 2020-21, when nationally, after data has been revised. Initially, in fact, data was looking much worse for our national growth. After it's been revised, our national economy contracted 5.8%, but Karnataka contracted only 2.6%. That might also be because a lot of the industries or businesses that produce revenues in Karnataka are in areas where you don't need to go to work, you can work from home. So Karnataka was affected less by the lockdown. The fact, however, is that a lot of the new entrepreneurship, new ideas, startups, high-tech businesses are coming to Karnataka, and that's why stability in Karnataka and good, if not great, at least reasonable governance is so vital, not just for the state, but for all of India. That said, DK Shivakumar at 64 walks into the leadership position and he faces many challenges. I will list 7 of them for you. And before I list 7 challenges, let me talk about the one that is too important to be numbered. That is the challenge of somebody called Siddaramaiah, because Siddaramaiah expectation was, I think the party high command also tried to tempt him. They made him a member of Congress working committee. They tried to tempt him with the Rajya Sabha seat, but he said no, he will stay put in Bengaluru in Karnataka. And that's going to be the biggest political challenge for DK Shivakumar going ahead. And that is something that our DK will talk about as we go along. Number 1, crumbling infrastructure. That applies particularly to Bengaluru. But Bengaluru is where a lot of the economic energy and economic wealth of Karnataka is. Karnataka will move if Bengaluru moves. Bengaluru right now doesn't move. You can sit in a car for a long time and it makes you very philosophical. Plus, you have this vicious cycle of drought, water shortage, and then flooding. all of these are problems of Bengaluru, but also problems of large parts of Karnataka. Don't forget, and this is what S.M. Krishna, then Chief Minister, had told me when we recorded a Walk the Talk in 2004. I think at a project where a new pond was being built in Dodballapur to store water. He had told me then that Karnataka has the second largest arid zone in the country after Rajasthan. That's not something that I had known until then. It's also a little coincidence, and this is something that DK Shivakumar reminds me of all the time, that if you see those pictures of that Walk the Talk, then of the people following SM Krishna, there's also a young man, that is DK Shivakumar, almost 22, 23 years younger than he is right now. He was a follower of SM Krishna, and today the families are connected because DK Shivakumar's daughter Aishwarya is married to SM Krishna's grandson. That said, 20 plus years back, the issue was water. Today also the issue is water. So crumbling infrastructure is the first challenge. Number two is a debt trap. The state is in a debt trap. Because of the 6 guarantees, a lot of money has been paid out. The debt burden on the state takes away 20% of the state's budget. What this means is that every 5 rupees that the state earns as revenue, one goes straight to debt servicing. That's a lot, because then after that there are salaries, pensions, stuff like that. This number 3, the state is in an interest trap, because once you have deficits and you finance them by borrowing, so not only are you in a debt trap, you're also in an interest trap. And what that does is that leads to declining capital expenditure. However, in Karnataka's case, that has not got into the alarming territory that some of the other states have reached, but still that reduces the money available to you for capital expenditure. If you want to do capital expenditure, build more highways, build more flyovers, spend more on your metro, water supply schemes, irrigation, then you have to borrow more money. That then becomes a vicious cycle of borrow and spend like that. Then there are regional imbalances within Karnataka that DK will talk about. Fifth, there are political challenges. There are political challenges within the Congress party. The BJP, as you know, is always active, and Operation Lotus or Kamal is always the sword hanging over your head. Number 6, which follows from the 5th, is vote bank disenchantment. That's because OBCs, a lot of the OBCs are loyal to Siddaramaiah, and they see a letdown in his departure. Also there are Dalits, there are Muslims who might think that Congress party takes their vote for granted but doesn't do enough for them, doesn't empower them enough. So all of that has to be balanced. And number 7 and last for now, this list is by no means definitive or final. You can keep adding to this. A chief minister's job is never easy in India. That is investor competition, because now Bengaluru has competition from Hyderabad. Chandrababu Naidu in Andhra is making major moves there. He's trying to create a new Hyderabad, or maybe a couple of Hyderabaads in Andhra Pradesh. He also has the benefit of being a coastal state, and Tamil Nadu has also been growing. So Bengaluru and Karnataka cannot take future investments for granted. In fact, many of the future companies might be looking at Bengaluru as being saturated, too expensive, and also too challenged for infrastructure. That is the 7th challenge, at which point I shall have our DK join in to talk about the problems of the DK in Bengaluru. DK, the other DK, has problems and looks like he's a smart politician, because as he begins his innings, he's actually gone to pay his respects to 2 of his adversaries. B.S. Yediyurappa of the BJP strongman and veteran, but also H.T. Devagowda, who's not just his political adversary, but also with whose family he competes for the votes of the same caste, Vocaligas, because DK Shivakumar is also Vocaliga, like the Gowdas. So he's a smart guy. But these challenges, how is he going to deal with them? Crumbling infrastructure, for example. We also have a very detailed story on these challenges from Sharan Puvana. In fact, we are drawing from that story a great deal. We'll share the story with you. On the screen, you will see it, but also we'll share a link. DK politics first. DK Shivakumar is smart. He knows his challenge is going to be political. So he started out by going to pay respects, maybe also to buy peace, with 2 of his biggest adversaries outside the Congress party. That is B.S. Yediyurappa the BJP strongman, and S.T. Devagowda of JDS, former Prime Minister. With S.T. Devagowda, the rivalry or the competition also is for Vocaliga vote, because both DK Shivakumar and the Gowda family are from the same Vocaliga caste. That said, that is covering these two bases on the opposition side. What about the challenge from within his own party? That is from Siddaramaiah.
As we saw, Siddaramaiah, before he put in his papers, he had this meeting with the cabinet ministers, and DK touched his feet, and that picture was released later. So DK has been making his moves. When you talk about his meeting, HD Devagowda, it's of course it's a SD Devagowda is a kind of statesman there, big Vocaliga leader. But it's also a fact that Siddaramaiah and Gowda don't see eye to eye. And after Devagowda had expelled him from the party.
So Siddaramaiah, if anything, was somebody who was very close to Devagowda and developed differences, and for whatever reason left the party.
He was very ambitious. Even then, this Kumaraswamy factor was actually weighing on his mind, because Devagowda wanted his son to be in the front, and Siddaramaiah was very ambitious. That's when you saw Siddaramaiah actually organizing those Ahinda rallies, which didn't really go down well with Gowda, and that's how he was expelled from the JDS.
What is Ahinda?
Ahinda is basically Alpsankyak, that minorities, backward classes, and Dalits.
Yeah. So it's a vote bank combination of them, like we had Asgar and Masgar formulations in the Hindi heartland.
It's formidable.
Like that.
So coming to what Siddaramaiah can do now, as we have seen him over decades, he's not somebody who's going to sit quietly. We saw in 2018 also, when he was the CM, but then the numbers were such that Kumaraswamy had to be brought in, and Kumaraswamy became the Chief Minister in 2018. That was Congress JDS government. And then we saw that defection happening, and out of the 17 Congress and JDS legislators
Who defected,
most of them were Siddaramaiah loyalists. So many people could see what he was trying to do.
So he did not like the idea that someone else was Chief Minister
Exactly.
while he was sitting outside,
Yeah.
and he had more numbers.
Even now, he's trying to be very graceful, and he has not really met much hue and cry about being asked to go. But the fact is, he's not ready to come to Delhi. He has been brought into the Congress Working Committee, but it's not good enough for him. He would like to stay there, and there he gave a statement that the people chose me for 5 years, so I'll be here and I'll be serving the people. So his intentions are very clear, but right now he did not really have many options. You remember when Devagowda had thrown him out of the JDS, he had actually explored the option of forming a regional party, but then he abandoned it and joined the Congress. Now he is 77, actually just 2 months short of 78. At this age, he cannot really afford to have a party of his own. He has nowhere to go. So if he had to quit after being asked by Rahul Gandhi, the thing was he did not have many options. You cannot have your own party. You cannot go to the BJP. And of course, you cannot go back to the JDS.
But he will continue to be a thorn in the side of DK Shivakumar, you think? Do this, don't do that, why are you doing this?
Initially, yes, because if you look at this, the list of 13 ministers, I mean, CM, Deputy CM, and then 12 ministers. So out of these 13, almost 5 to 6 of them are known Siddaramaiah loyalists. And they would be trying to create troubles. But let's not forget that there are 20 more vacancies. So Shivakumar, in the first round, now that he is forming the government, he might have accommodated all of them, including Siddaramaiah's son, Yatendra. But then going forward, he has 20 more vacancies to fill, and he would be feeling more confident of what he's going to do.
And what about the OBC anger or OBC disappointment?
That's, as many political commentators from Karnataka tell me, that it's overrated.
Because Siddaramaiah's own caste is about 7%, Kuruba caste.
7 to 8%.
7 to 8%.
Yeah. So he has actually tried to lay a trap in a way, because even before he resigned, he accepted this report of that so-called caste census, what they call socio-economic and educational survey, the caste census report. So now that the government has accepted it, now there will be pressure on Shivakumar to actually make it public and work on that.
Do something. So,
Do something about that. So he has already laid that trap for Shivakumar just hours before quitting. So that shows his intention. But the larger picture is he needs to do something for his son, Yatindra. He has managed to make him the minister, but he cannot take the fight beyond a point with Shivakumar, because once you are the CM, you might have your loyalists when you are the CM. But in politics, nobody salutes at the setting sun.
yeah, and you can't pull down a government which has your
Yes.
son in it. So this is a little bit like that old Ajit joke, the liquid oxygen situation. Liquid जीने नहीं देगा, oxygen मरने नहीं देगा.
And age is not on his side. He would actually like to to establish his son in politics properly.
Yeah.
And by the time you have a next election, he will be nearing 80.
It's a bit ironical because he left Gowda's party, Devagowda's party, because Devagowda wanted to privilege his son over Siddaramaiah. And now he is caught in a situation where he has to promote his own son. So that's a trap in politics. So that is the Siddaramaiah factor. Now we come to the infrastructure issue. That is a big issue in Karnataka. And this is not just Bengaluru's traffic and stuff. It's also water, irrigation, lot of dry areas in Karnataka. Karnataka is traditionally short of water, and now increasingly, particularly the city of Bengaluru, because of unscientific, unplanned development has come up. Construction has come up over old lakes and water courses, that we see this cycle of catastrophic flooding with water shortages and tanker raj in Bengaluru. So DK, how is Shivakumar going to handle this?
Let's see, because he was already in charge of Bengaluru, and we saw him coming up with a lot of ideas, but some of the things are not in place yet. Now, things like London, like congestion charge, parking facilities. I mean, he's talking all about that, but his big idea is this 40,000 crore tunnel project, just to decongest the roads. And interesting thing is Adani is the lowest bidder for that project. So let's see how he does. That's his bigger challenge, whether he is able to give the project to Adani.
So this goes right underneath the city?
Yes,
this tunnel?
yes, it's an underground.
And how long will it take? Because this will not be completed in the term of one government.
But he has to start, at least you start implementing something. Right now, all these talks about potholes, traffic congestion, I mean, we have heard many people talking about it, from Kiran Majumdar Shaw to Mohandas Pai. I mean, all the industry captains are talking about the crumbling infrastructure.
Yeah, and one difference in Bengaluru is that unlike, say, in other cities, the entrepreneurs are willing to speak up.
Oh, yes.
They are less afraid.
Yeah. That does put a lot of pressure on the government, and Siddaramaiah didn't really like it much.
Yeah.
But DK would be quite open. At least he has to start something. The tunnel project is facing a lot of resistance from the opposition, from different quarters. But he's carrying on. He wants to go ahead with this project. While we are focusing too much on Bengaluru and the infrastructure problem, I think DK Shivakumar's biggest challenge would be to address this geographical disparity when we talk about income. This geographical disparity in development. So in Bengaluru, for instance, 40% of Karnataka GSDP comes from Bengaluru. And the rest, if you start looking at the per capita income, if Bengaluru has over 8 lakh, I mean 8.55 lakh, in fact, that's a per capita income for Bengaluru, then you go down to Kalburgi, that Mallikarjun Kharge's hometown. Yeah. There, the per capita income is 1.44 lakh. So there is huge disparity. So what we are looking at Karnataka through Bengaluru's lens, but then DK Shivakumar will actually have to address these issues beyond.
Because Karnataka has not built another urban center like Maharashtra has done, say, with Pune. Pune, in some ways, Nagpur also now.
And Chandrababu Naidu, what he is trying very, very consciously is to geographically diversify the investments in different districts, different regions, which has not happened in Karnataka. So as he did, IT is coming up in a big way in Mangalore.
And Mangalore is coastal as well.
Yes, but then again, it has to diversify. And Mangalore thing came up without the government's assistance. Now, DK Shivakumar will really have to do hand-holding with all the private entrepreneurs to actually diversify thing across regions.
So in fact, the north of Karnataka is very dry. So when SM Krishna said that Karnataka has the second largest arid zone in the country, a lot of that is towards the north. As you go north from Bengaluru, in fact, go to south of Bengaluru, you come to deeply forested area. Now the finances, state finances, I talked about this in some detail. You want to add to it?
I think that should not worry DK Shivakumar much. We are talking about debt to GSDP ratio and total liabilities. I was looking at this fifth State Finance Commission report. So now, if you're looking at the total liabilities, it comes to about 24% of the GSDP. But the projection is by 29-30 also, it will remain around 23.19%.
So that's manageable.
Manageable in the sense, fiscally also it's below 25%, it's manageable, and we are talking about 29-30. So there DK won't really worry much. Interest payment, yes. I mean, last 4 years figures, if you look at, it has gone up from 30,000 crore to 36,000 crore, 45,000 crore. Now the estimate is 53,000 crores. So interest payment is a problem, but as long as the economy is growing, these things won't really bother the government, because in 23-24, if you see, the GSDP was about 25.6 lakh crores for Karnataka. It is projected to be around 48 lakh crores by 29-30. So if it is expanding, I think these things won't really bother.
This will be absorbed.
Yeah.
But something that will not be absorbed by economic growth is our problem number 5 for him, challenge number 5, which is the impression that corruption and rent seeking have not gone down since the BJP, because the allegation of the BJP was that you had to pay a cut for everything.
40% commission government.
40% commission government. But that hasn't, the impression hasn't changed.
That actually DK Singh needs to address, because whenever you go to Bangalore, you hear the same thing. This rent seeking at every level, and he will have to address that.
Yeah. And other political challenges besides Siddaramaiah within his party, now they've made Parameshwara Deputy Chief Minister. He's a Dalit, so that is addressing one constituency. He was also an aspirant for Chief Ministership.
Oh, yes, he has been for a long time.
And he's a very smart politician, very smart,
Yes.
articulate politician.
But now I think he's given up. He's not much ambitious. He was aligned with Siddaramaiah.
Right.
He's still age. But I don't really see him posing much.
So what will be the other challenges within his party and also from the BJP?
Within his party, I don't really see much coming, although Siddaramaiah will try. We'll have to see, because we'll have a new state Congress president. We'll see who comes. If Siddaramaiah may want his person to come and actually keep needling the government, we'll have to see who comes there. But as it is, once DK Shivakumar has been running the Congress for a long time, and he steered the party to victory in 23. So he's in total control. He's an organization man, unlike Siddaramaiah.
And he's gone to jail.
He's gone to jail.
He's gone to jail for a sizable period, has not broken down, has not defected to the BJP. There were lots of temptations. I think the BJP tried very hard to take him to the laundromat, right? Or take him to the shower, right? Where all sins are washed off, or for a Ganga Snan, but he did not buy into that temptation.
So that's where the High Command is supportive. As Shivakumar was telling me once, there were 75 raids on him and his associates over these years, and yet he did not wilt. So that actually is something liked by the Gandhis, and that's why they came to his support now. And finally, when his turn came, they finally came around.
So point number 6 then, vote bank disenchantment.
Vote bank
and caste survey.
Caste survey will be a tricky thing. Let's see what he does, because Siddaramaiah has actually left him in a soup. Now that you have accepted the report, you will have to make it public at some point of time, and then once things come out, you never know which way it will go. There are already many murmurs. Say, for instance, the leaked report. Parts of the report have got leaked. Now, Vocaligas, who claim to be otherwise like 14, 15, 16% of the population, the report says they are just about 10%. Lingayats, they claim to be about 17, 18% or more. The leaked report says they are just about 11% of the population. Now you bring out these elements, you'll have major issues, because every community will be standing up and protesting. So that's a problem for DK Shivakumar. Let's see how he manages that. But for now, there is a problem for the BJP also, for JDS especially, because now you have a Vocaliga Chief Minister. He's just 64. Now, Kumaraswamy might have done what he did because SD Devagowda has been around. But if you look at the future, DK Shivakumar emerges as a big Vocaliga leader. And still with 10%.
Because the
strength,
Gowda dynasty has problems of its own, right? Revana has troubles. Kumaraswamy's health has challenges, serious challenges. Devagowda is not getting younger, although his mind is all there, but he's not getting younger. He was just the other day releasing Shivraj Chauhan's book on Prime Minister Modi. But he's not getting younger. He's in his 90s.
Again, so far what the first move he made, if you look at his cabinet today, Shiv Kumar actually, we may be talking about him as a Vocaliga leader, but very smartly, just as Yadurappa also did when he was the CM. They tried to expand the base. Yadurappa did very smartly, bringing in different OBCs, different castes and communities into the cabinet and kept promoting them, which worked for the BJP. Shiv Kumar also, if you look at his 13-member, 14-member cabinet today. So when we are talking about DK Shiv Kumar as a Vocaliga leader, of course, it will help him politically. I mean, at least for the Congress to expand its footprints among Vocaligas. But we have seen it in many cases where leaders grow beyond their own caste identity. I mean, we saw what Yadurappa did. He's still known as the biggest Lingayat leader. But the fact was, when he was the chief minister, he got ministers from all caste communities and actually expanded the BJP's base among them. And why just Karnataka? Look at what Jayalalitha had done in Tamil Nadu. I mean, she was a Brahmin. Forget about her film star appeal. But then the way she had actually accommodated different communities in Tamil Nadu and actually made it a big umbrella. So DK Shivakumar still has that opportunity to do that, just going beyond his Vocaliga
And the ability also.
and the ability also. And what he has done, look at his 14-member cabinet, including him. There are 3 Lingayats. You have 3 Dalits, 3 Vocaligas. So I think that he does have that thing in mind, just to show that balance and not to be seen as a Vocaliga leader. Let's see, he has another opportunity, again, 20 more vacancies to fill. We'll see which direction he takes it to.
And the 7.7 challenge, the performance there will depend on how he addresses the first 6. That is the competition for investment. From Hyderabad or Telangana, which is from his own government, his own fellow Congress Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, or Chandrababu Naidu in Andhra Pradesh, or Tamil Nadu with the new Chief Minister there. How he addresses all of that would depend on what he's able to do about the infrastructure, about social cohesion and peace in Karnataka, and also how stable he's able to keep his government.
He just has to carry this, right, the growth momentum that Karnataka has now. He has to carry it on.
And that's very important for the rest of India as well, all of the country, because Karnataka is a key engine of India's economy.